台湾到底多重要代志大条的话，美国真的会过来帮忙吗？你还在问这种的问题的话，就代表你的脑袋比我一整箱的爆米花还空
What a stupid question that is.
最近 the largest military force in modern history has assembled right around Taiwan, and it's all because of one little Pooh Bear run country.
China.
Troops from 19 different countries have assembled in their collective hate of this one oppressive regime. These dudes hate the CCP way more than we do. So, come 2027, history is bound to repeat itself. But this time, it won't be a measly 8-nation alliance.
Assemble.
Every time I make a video about the CCP, there's always a shit ton of 小粉红 in the comments like,
如果中国打台湾，美国一定不会来帮助哦。
You're so dumb.
Bruh, have you ever thought about one thing? Could it be that because the US has been helping Taiwan all these years, that China doesn't even dare to step up to Taiwan? Because would you tell your dad,
如果小偷来的话，警察一定不会来帮忙哦。
Hey kid, let me ask you something. I don't think you're dumb. You're actually a really smart person. Have you really never thought that because the police are always patrolling, that's the reason why the robber doesn't dare come rob the house?
Yes, science!
There are way too many people who think that maintaining the status quo means doing nothing. But actually, maintaining the status quo has a cost and requires doing a lot of things.
Check this out. The United States just launched a large-scale Air Force exercise focused on the Pacific Theater this week as the Pentagon is preparing for a potential conflict with China over the vast region. This is actually one of the largest, listen to this from DVIDS, Defense Visual Information Distribution Service, Pacific Air Forces, alongside U.S. allies and partners, launched Resolute Force Pacific 2025. That's RE4PAC, which is the largest contingency response exercise ever conducted by the U.S. Air Force in the Indo-Pacific region, July 10th, 2025. That's today. It's going to involve more than 300 aircraft and feature U.S. Air Force members alongside colleagues from partner nations and other branches of the U.S. military.
That's right. The U.S. government has decided to spend taxpayer dollars of up to $530 million to conduct a full month of military exercises next to Taiwan.
The RE4PAC exercise will involve more than 300 aircraft and feature U.S. Air Force members alongside colleagues from partner nations and other branches of the U.S. military. The DLE is the first in a generation series of exercises encompassing all branches of the DoD along with allies and partners. Over 350 joint and coalition aircraft and more than 12,000 members at more than 50 locations across 300 miles.
Oh, and by the way, the RE4PAC 2025 is from July 10th to August 8th. And guess what else happens to coincide during this period?
Taiwan has kicked off its largest military drills this Wednesday. The annual Han Kuang exercises bring together regular troops and a record number of civilian reservists for 10 days of training. This year is being marked, though, by a newly delivered high-tech rocket system from the United States.
Now, Taiwan also happens to have exercises from July 15th to July 18th. But surely this must be a coincidence. It definitely isn't the US wanting to practice using the same command system with Taiwan to simulate resisting a PLA invasion. 那些美国人出现应该是观光客吧? It must all be a coincidence. Hey, take it from me, 你的美国黑北北. Americans are selfish as fuck. They definitely won't come to the aid of Taiwan.
You are really dumb. For real.
Any attempt by Communist China to conquer Taiwan by force would result in devastating consequences for the Indo-Pacific and the world. There's no reason to sugarcoat it. The threat China poses is real, and it could be imminent. We hope not, but it certainly could be.
The Taiwanese are now test-firing American artillery rockets for the first time, after China's President Xi reportedly told his troops to be ready to invade by 2027.
Now, the CCP could have played it smart and announced they would no longer threaten Taiwan with military force, making the Taiwan Strait legit peaceful. And then America would no longer have an excuse to station troops all around Asia. And with that, the CCP could continue to slowly brainwash Taiwanese, via treacherous influencers and streamers, and their backstabbing news counterparts, and ultimately controlling the Taiwanese election process, resulting in the election of a pro-China Taiwanese president, achieving their ultimate goal: complete control over the country. But Xi Jinping decided to play it not so smart and continually threaten us with attacks in 2027, and thus them US troops ain't going nowhere. This has got to be the most bailan strategy I've ever seen. But that is nothing compared to the second part of this video, which by the end will have you wondering, Xi Jinping 你到底在冲啥小欸？你有病吗？
Chinese military exercises sparking alarm over waters off Australia's east coast. Beijing has warned of potential live-fire naval drills in the area, insisting they were safe but not confirming whether live ammunition was used.
Just a few months ago, Xi Jinping might have eaten some expired honey, or seen the comments from Chinese netizens about how occupying Australia is way easier than occupying Taiwan, and suddenly sent the PLA to Australia's outer seas. That's when he decided to do something really dumb.
At night size.
Now, this incident caused all of Australia to be pissed. Why in the hell did China suddenly send warships to Australia's outer seas, even conducting live ammunition exercises? But no one in Australia knew about it until the New Zealand Navy reported it.
中国人民解放军南部战区组织舰艇编队赴远海开展演训，演训活动始终保持安全、规范和专业的操作，符合有关国际法和国际实践。
Now, no country, save for Russia, would send warships to circle outside someone else's country several times, conduct live round exercises without notifying anyone. This is like someone running up to your doorstep, then pulling a knife and waving it in the air, then saying it's not illegal, it's very safe. Yo, Chinese Foreign Ministry, are you treating us like idiots, or are you just dumb as fuck?
And there should be more confidence between China and Australia, that as partners between our two countries, we should have confidence to see that similar things used to happen, now it's happening, and perhaps it will happen again in the future. But no worries aren't necessary.
No worries are necessary, but it might happen again.
Well, I don't have advice. I don't have notice and advice from the Chinese military as to when and where they're going to do something else. They will exercise. They will move around the world in different parts, in different times, based on their own order from the senior army military leader. What I'm trying to say is that these are normal practices, so it's not necessary for anyone to feel worried about.
They are normal to have exercises in international waters, but it was the first time that a Chinese task group had actually circumnavigated, gone right around Australia. People were interested in that, and also the symbolism of that. I know you say it's an act of friendship. It doesn't look that way when there are warships going around the country. It doesn't look very friendly.
Well, I think this the trip around Australia is a trip along international water, and in this part of the world, it happened to be somewhere near Australia. It's not targeted at Australia. So
this isn't really targeting Australia. Is it targeting koalas, kangaroos, maybe sloths?
No thanks. I choose life.
Fun fact: the Pacific Ocean is huge as fuck. You could go to places completely surrounded by ocean for live round training. Why choose to train right next to Australia, which has a much weaker military than Taiwan, but land 20 times larger than Taiwan?
Australia and the USA are going to war. Games. Exercise Talisman Sabre 2025 is about to begin.
Minister, the Talisman Sabre War Games are next month. Do you know what the response from China in our waters will be and the scale of that response?
At previous iterations of Talisman Sabre, we've had the PLA Navy observing what we do, and so we're fully expectant that some version of that will happen when Talisman Sabre occurs.
Exercise Talisman Sabre 2025, or TS25, promises to be the most ambitious and strategically significant iteration yet of this biennial Australia-US defence partnership. Running from 13th of July to the 4th of August 2025, the exercise will bring together more than 35,000 defence personnel from 19 nations, a new record to hone their multi-domain warfare capabilities spanning land, sea, air, cyber and space. TS-25 is the 11th iteration of the exercise and it's promising to be the largest so far.
And just 4 months later, which is right now as you're watching this video, Australia and the United States, along with troops from 19 other countries, are gathering in Australia. Even the UK's aircraft carrier is coming to Australia for the first time, conducting Talisman Sabre 2025, all to send China one very clear message.
Do not fuck with us.
Now, Trump has just passed the biggest, some would say most beautiful bill in American history, turbocharging America's military budget and creating the largest alliance of allied forces in history for, exercises. All because Xi Jinping keeps popping his mouth off about World War III. Now, from all sorts of interesting movements, including Elon Musk forming his own party, to some very interesting isolated incidents happening around the world. A 2027 World War 好像很有可能会发生哦, but I hope I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong.